I want to now show a few things pictorially. It's just easier to understand when you see some diagrams. There's a bit of stuff there, but none of it is complex. And that's the biggest size I could do on the home front. So I'll describe what happens. First, we'll look at the created world when Jesus created Adam and Eve. So that one here. At that stage, and this is before Adam and Eve sinned. So you have God at the top, you have Adam and Eve here, and then you have the created world. There's always a gap, a distance between God and man, even the most pure man. Sinless man, there's still a distance. Here on this chart, I called it A1. It's A, but we'll see why A1. A varies. That distance can vary. It varies with sin. As we sin, we fall away from God. But the distance between humanity, mankind, and the animal kingdom, that distance does not vary. I call it B. It never varies because animals don't sin. And humans who are made rulers of the created universe, they always have to be higher than the created universe because they are made in image of God. Okay, so what we've got, A, I'll repeat, distance between God and man. B, distance between man and animal kingdom. The distance between God and animal kingdom and nature is that A plus B in this case. Now what I've done, just to make it easier to understand so you're not talking algebra, if say that was, distance between man and God was 15 kilometres, and the distance between man and animals was 10 kilometres. So, distance between God and the animal kingdom is 15 kilometres plus 10 kilometres. In the ideal world, originally, the animals were 25 kilometres away, symbolically speaking, okay? Now we go to the fallen world. The big deal here is, you notice A1 was little, A2 includes the natural separation between man and God, that's there, plus the sin. So the more we sin, the bigger the separation. A has grown, but B remains the same. So in this one, I'll give some figures. Here, A was 15 kilometres. Now it's grown to 50 kilometres, 50. That remains 10. 10, because they don't sin. So now the animal kingdom is 50 plus 10 is 60 kilometres distance between nature, between animals and God. Previously it was 25 kilometres. Now it's 60 kilometres, and that's, again, I emphasise, nothing to do with the animal kingdom. They must be subservient to their rulers, us. We fall, they fall. Okay? And it can't be the other way around. Say, logically speaking, if somebody thought, well, why should animals be punished because of sinful man? Why? Because sinful man, nevertheless, is still in God's image. And if animals were not punished, if their relationship to God was fixed no matter what, you would end up here where eventually animals are higher than man, their ruler. Meaning animals are higher than God's image. That doesn't work. It can't work. So nature, the whole universe, nature and its laws depend upon the spiritual state of man. Okay, this is our final drawing here. This is probably harder to see, but again, that's what I had to work with. This is a graph based on data obtained from the 2006 census, 2011 census, 2016 census, and next year will be the other census. And what this graph is, it shows on the vertical scale what percentage of Australia's population is or was Christian, believed in Christ, identified themselves as Christians. In 2006, 64% of the population said on the census that they were Christians. If you go back 2 decades, it's about like 90%. Doesn't matter. We're starting here. Then, 5 years later, it dropped from 64% to 61% of the population said they were Christians. 2016, 52%. The trend has started. And just by simply projecting, my guess is, conservatively speaking, that next year we'll see that the population will be below, that believes in God, the Christians, will be below 50%. I'm sort of guessing 43%. Now, here's the real big deal, why all of this is important. Until 2016, the believers weren't divided into age groups. So I've only got one data point for age groups. And what that says is that in 2016, although the average population, 52% of the average population believed in God as Christians, youth, young people, age group, 25 to 34 years of age, that group, only 38% call themselves Christians. General population 52, see that gap? And I'm guessing that next year, 30% of the age group, 25 to 34, will say they're Christians. And because Orthodox youth are part of that package, so you'll be seeing a decline, and we already see a decline of Orthodox youth abandoning their faith. And just to put that in an approximate perspective, what that means is a young family, well, a family who has 2 children, statistically only speaking, one of those will abandon their faith and perish. That's what we're talking about. Whether it's 50% of your children perish or 20%, the fact is they will abandon their Christian faith. And conventional theology can do nothing about that, because if it could do something about that, then that wouldn't happen. It's happening. So we have to now address the issue seriously. The church has to, clergy have to, young parents have to. They have to speak the same language as their kids.